The global altars descend. While everyone else offers their most valuable possessions, desperate for a white light reward, I toss a single bag of spicy snacks onto the altar. The crowd around me sneers. Just another broke loser begging for attention. But then, the altar erupts with the highest tier red beam, and a mythic grade item that has never appeared before emerges from the light. All because I have awakened a unique grade ability, the Eye of Truth. It lets me see the coordinates and demands of every altar. As long as I offer exactly what each altar wants, I get the highest reward. But just a few hours ago, I was still a corporate slave, drained dry of every penny by my ex-girlfriend. She took the brand new Dior bag I bought her, then climbed into a shiny new Maybach. Walking down the street, I felt like the sky was about to fall. And then, the sky really did roar. A massive boom split the air, and countless altars rained down from above. In an instant, the whole world is bathed in purple light. Suddenly, a sharp pain stabs through my eyes. When I open them again, I see lines of text on a nearby altar. Text only I can read. Altar number 666, connected coordinate, the endless abyss. A colossal beast that has devoured all things dwells here. Endless ages have left it bored beyond words. Right now, it craves something that can deliver the ultimate taste shock. A crowd is forming around the altar. A chubby guy steps up. He throws his loaf of bread onto the altar. A moment later, a soft white light blooms from the altar. A glowing fruit then appears. The chubby guy starts panting in excitement and shoves the fruit straight into his mouth. The fat on his body melts away in seconds. He transforms into a chiseled, muscular hunk right before our eyes. The crowd loses their minds. They rush to throw their most valuable items onto the altars. Patek Philippe watches, gold, diamonds. The crazed crowd tosses everything in without a second thought. I watch the scene and almost shout out loud, because only I know that the creature behind this altar only wants the ultimate taste shock. And it just so happens, I have exactly that. A friend once brought me a bag of Reaper spicy strips from overseas. I licked it once, and my backside burned for 3 days and 3 nights. If a single loaf of bread earns an enhancement fruit, what would I get by giving it exactly what it craves? With that thought, I sprint home. I tear through every drawer until I find that bag of Reaper spicy strips. Once I calm down, I do not rush back out. I open my computer to check the news. Sure enough, the entire global internet has exploded. Every website is flooded with one word, altars. A tycoon offered a truckload of gold. He was granted extraordinary power, because after he hauled in crates of gold bars by truck and dumped everything onto the altar, he got a blue light reward. The altar returned a seed glowing with blue radiance. After swallowing it, the tycoon gained the terrifying ability to summon vines. One more piece of news catches my attention. Sakura Nation. Offering failed. A flesh-eating demon was summoned. It turns out a master offered his ancestral sword. What appeared instead was a demon wreathed in black mist. Casualties in Sakura Nation are catastrophic. The military is now involved. I read the news and suck in a sharp breath. So a failed offering can summon disaster. That means giving each altar exactly what it wants is everything. At that moment, my phone buzzes violently. Dragon Nation official alert. Initial research has revealed major risks and limits with the mysterious altars. Each person may offer to the same altar only once, and may make at most 3 offerings per day. The descent of the altars also triggered an unknown energy pulse, which has destroyed every surveillance device on the planet. My heart clenches. This is a gift from heaven. I check the time on my phone. 10 p.m. I pack up the Reaper spicy strips. Without hesitation, I sneak back to the plaza. The place is empty now, with only scraps of leftover offerings from the day. I pull the Reaper spicy strips from my pocket and carefully place them on the altar. The altar reacts violently. A red beam of light erupts toward the sky. In an instant, the entire city is bathed in blood-red light. Even residents miles away on the streets are terrified by this earth-shaking sight. And then, I see a massive jet-black egg materialize on the altar. I scoop it up immediately. Without pausing for a second, I vanish from the scene. At the same moment, alarms blare inside the headquarters of the Anomaly Affairs Bureau in the Dragon Nation capital. A stern-faced man demands, "Have we locked the coordinates?" "Reporting, General. Based on the data we collected, we have narrowed down the general area. The location on the map is exactly where I am. The Western District of Riverside City, Dragon Nation. Designate this area as an S-level observation zone immediately. Notify the Riverside City branch. Spare no cost. Find out what that red light was." By now, I have already made it back home. Looking at the giant egg in my arms, I am genuinely puzzled. What is this thing? I cannot exactly crack it open and make golden fried rice. Suddenly, a line of text appears on the shell. Abyssal Dragon Egg. Grade Mythic. Once hatched, the owner gains an abyssal dragon as a companion. Its power rivals that of gods. Reading this, I am thrilled. Anyone who plays games knows Mythic is the highest grade of all. The Reaper spicy strips really did not let me down. Then I realized something strange. Why can my eyes also analyze the rewards from the altar? I rush to the bathroom and stare hard at myself in the mirror. A line of text appears. Eye of Truth. Grade. Unique. Can see through the cause and effect of all things. Gaze upon an altar to reveal its connected coordinate and required offering. Gaze upon any altar-related item to reveal its grade, name, and effect. So that is how it works. I never imagined these eyes could do so much. Suddenly I remember the forum posts I saw earlier. Countless people made offerings and got back a piece of dead wood that meant nothing to them, or a plain, ordinary rock. They had no idea what these things did, so they wasted them. But I am different. One glance is all it takes. All hidden information becomes mine to see. Hunting for hidden treasures is no longer just a fantasy. I tuck the dragon egg into my bed and glance at the clock on the wall. 10:30 p.m. Until midnight, I have 1.5 hours left. I still have 2 offerings remaining today. With that in mind, I start packing things that might come in handy. Tiger balm, a lighter, a philosophy book. Things others might call junk, I take all of it. Last, I shove a fruit knife into the bag for self-defense. Then my eyes land on the picture frame on my desk. Vivian smiles brightly in that photo. Keeping it serves no purpose. None at all. I shoved the photo into my pocket, planning to throw it away. Outside, I head straight for the abandoned industrial district in the western part of the city. The place has been deserted for years. The terrain is complex. Perfect ground for my plan. Then my phone rings out of nowhere. The caller is none other than my ex-girlfriend Vivian. I hang up immediately. I block her and delete her contact. At that very moment, in a 5-star hotel, Vivian is with Damon. She had assumed I was still hunched in my shabby rental, sulking in misery. Who would have thought the next second her call would be hung up? A nameless rage flares up inside her. How dare a worthless loser she dumped hang up on her? What is wrong, babe? A simple greeting melts away Vivian's anger in an instant. Looking at the man in front of her, she is more than satisfied. He can casually pull out bags worth tens of thousands and watches worth hundreds of thousands. These are the finest offerings of this new era. In the face of such fortune, devotion and vows mean nothing. After all, when she offered the Dior bag I gave her, the altar erupted in soul-stirring green light, and her next 2 offerings also produced that rare green light. Clearly, she is the chosen one of this era. Damon sitting beside her also seems deeply interested in Vivian, but deep in his eyes, there is nothing but calculation. He had only planned to spend a little money for fun. He never expected this woman's luck to be this absurd. 3 offerings in a row, all green light. Keeping her around might prove very useful later. Meanwhile, I have already reached the abandoned industrial district. I have to find 2 suitable altars and make my offerings before midnight. Otherwise the chances are wasted. Just a few steps in, I spot an altar. Altar number 25091. Connected coordinate. The junkyard realm. A mechanical imp that takes joy in collecting trash. It has a nearly obsessive fixation on bottle caps. I shake my head slightly. A trash-collecting mechanical imp. How great a reward could it possibly give? I keep walking, and another altar appears ahead. Altar number 18472. Connected coordinate. The dried pond. A carp spirit on the verge of dying of thirst only wishes for one more sip of sweet fresh water. Not satisfied with this one either. I keep moving until I reach a small alley filled with trash. After making sure no one is around, I lock my eyes onto another altar. Altar number 4444. Connected coordinate. The Theater of Sorrows. A tragic heroine doomed to repeat her role on stage forever has grown deeply weary of her predetermined script. She now craves an item born from real betrayal, soaked in pure hatred and burning resentment. My breath catches. The altar number is 4 4s, and the demand is impossibly specific. But wait, I just got dumped. I pull out the photo of Vivian. I drag the fruit knife across her face. Afraid I cannot channel enough hatred and resentment, I close my eyes and start remembering. You came down with a fever? I already promised my best friend we would go shopping. Just drink more water yourself. Where is my gaming account? I sold it. Men who play games are wasting their lives. I am keeping that few thousand to buy us nice food. You should grow up. I am not going to suffer alongside you. We were never meant to live in the same world. Please stop bothering me. Remembering all this, I suddenly smile. I pull the lighter from my pocket and flick it on. After scorching part of the photo, I place the offering onto the altar. A purple beam shoots up. The reaction is less explosive than the red light, but the news has not mentioned this color before. I feel a quiet thrill. 5 tattered ticket stubs appear. I grab them in my fist. The Eye of Truth activates. Text appears. Set item, ticket to Act 4. Grade, epic. One-time use. When used, it forces the target to relive their deepest fears or most painful memories. Their mind collapses for 3 seconds, leaving them unable to act. Epic grade. Not as powerful as the Dragon Egg, but a 3-second hard control item is enough to decide life and death in a fight, and this seems to be part of a set. What happens if I collect all the earlier acts? No time to think about it. Only 30 minutes left until midnight. I search through the entire industrial district. I find another altar. Altar number 7591. Connected coordinate. The Lost Crossroads. A lost explorer longs for the right direction. I shake my head, turn, and walk away. There is no advice I can offer for that demand. After walking a bit further, another altar catches my eye. Altar number 1988. Connected coordinate. The Silent Library. An elderly head librarian longs to hear one heartfelt word of praise from another. I almost choose this one. But then I remember the bitter days I have lived through. I have to maximize my gain. After wandering around in a wide circle, I finally discover a massive factory workshop. Inside is an altar. Altar number 101010. At first, the number does not impress me. Then I realize something. This number is binary code. A line of text appears. Connected coordinate. The Logic Singularity. A super AI on the verge of awakening self-awareness. It has mastered every form of complex reasoning, but still cannot understand one paradox. Why do intelligent beings ponder questions that hold no meaning for survival? It craves a sample of such useless wisdom. I decide instantly. This is the one. I pull a book out of my backpack. A philosophy book called Being and Nothingness. The match is absolutely perfect. I place the book on the altar. A piercing screech tears at my eardrums. The air fills with the burnt smell of fried electronics. I panic for a second. Did I just fry the AI's processor? Then suddenly, a pillar of golden light bursts toward the sky. The entire workshop is bathed in light. My heart pounds wildly. In just a few hours, I have collected red, purple, and gold lights. 3 colors not even reported online. Suddenly, a deadly chill rushes at me from behind. The bright light lets me catch a glimpse of a dark figure. He charges at me with inhuman speed. His blade is about to plunge into my back. But the next second, the attacker's body suddenly freezes. A scream of agony follows. His knife clatters to the floor. He clutches his head in pain. Because in the split second before I could react, I had already used the ticket to Act 4. 3 seconds of being trapped in his most painful memories. I yank the fruit knife from my waist. One swift strike, and he is finished. Then I lean against the wall, shaking uncontrollably. It is my first time killing someone. Looking at the corpse, I turn my head and throw up everything in my stomach. A moment later, I force myself to stand. So high-tier light pillars mean opportunity, but they are also a death warrant. They attract predators lurking in the dark. Then I notice something on the corpse. 2 dim white orbs of light hover above the body. The Eye of Truth activates. Light step leggings, grade, common. Slightly increases movement speed and jumping power. Status, unbound. I look at the second item. Crude stamina charm, grade common. Slightly increases physical endurance. Status, unbound. Those words send a shock through my mind. A brutal rule surfaces in my head. Kill and claim. Take down a target, and the items they earn through offerings become yours. This guy had 2 practical items on him. He has probably done this to others before. So why is the entire internet full of light pillars and rewards, but not a single post mentions this risk? The more I think about it, the colder my blood runs. It is not that nobody knows. The ones who know have all chosen silence. Some of them are like the corpse on the ground. Others want to be the hunter. And some simply do not dare to speak. The government, for example. Announcing this would be admitting that the existing social order has already collapsed. The Dark Forest law is taking over. The entire world would spiral into chaos. With that thought, I cannot afford to waste time. I gather up the 2 white orbs and look toward the center of the altar. A fist-sized metallic cube sits there. The Eye of Truth activates. Dimensional Vault. Grade, Legendary. Once bound, the user gains a dimensional space with an initial volume of 1,000 cubic meters. Altar-related items can be stored or retrieved at will through thought. Legendary grade. And a logistics-type item. I immediately think of the dragon egg back at home. Storing it in this space is the safest option. The instant my finger touches the cube, a vast space opens up inside my consciousness. With a single thought, I drop the tickets to Act 4 inside as well. Once it is done, I check my phone. Just past midnight. I sheathe the blood-stained fruit knife and prepare to leave the place. But just 2 steps out, a massive bolt of lightning rips across the sky. Huge raindrops crash down. A moment ago the sky was clear with bright moonlight. How is it suddenly pouring? This rain is wrong. I freeze in place, not daring to make a move. I have an umbrella in my bag, but I have no idea if this rain is dangerous. After all, if altars can fall from the sky, rain that mutates people is not out of the question. I pull out my phone to check. Sure enough, the forums are flooded with posts about the rain. The hot topic minutes ago was offerings. Now it is all people asking, is it raining and thundering on your end too? Guys, this rain is definitely off. Do not let it touch you. Watch out for mutations. Oh no, I got rained on. I have never even held a girl's hand. Please do not turn me into a zombie. Post refresh at lightning speed, and my heart sinks bit by bit. If this rain really does infect people, the consequences are unthinkable. Before I can come up with a plan, a red flagged post makes my heart drop. Holy crap, something huge just happened. The altars are gone. After collecting the red, purple, and gold lights, 3 colors that have never appeared online, I had been getting ready to head home. Then the clear moonlit sky suddenly turned into a downpour. The forums are flooded with posts about the rain, refreshing faster than I can read. But the most alarming post is not about the rain. It is the red-flagged headline. Something big is happening. The altars are gone. I whip my head around to check. Sure enough, the altar behind me has vanished. And to my horror, the corpse from before is also gone. But I am certain no one has been here. The only explanation is the rain. When it falls, the altars disappear. It also washes away every trace of the previous day. Combined with the destruction of all surveillance equipment worldwide, this is the perfect environment for murder and theft. Since the rain itself is harmless, I pull out my umbrella and head home. Not long after I leave, the Anomaly Affairs Bureau arrives at the scene. They quickly locate the workshop where the altar had been. Commander Ryan immediately turns toward the back of his team. A young woman in her 20s steps forward. After her offering yesterday, she gained an ability. Energy Rewind. It lets her sense the residual energy fluctuations in a space. The higher the tier, the clearer the trace. Agent Emily closes her eyes and starts to feel. Suddenly she lets out a stifled gasp and stumbles backward. Ryan catches her instantly. What is it? Emily breathes hard, her voice trembling. This is completely different from the previous scene. That one was a firefly. This is bright as daylight, warm as the sun. A team member cannot help but speak up. Could it be gold light? Ryan's face turns grave instantly. Lock down this area. Conduct a thorough sweep. Report this to headquarters immediately. Tell them I suspect a monster beyond imagination is hiding here. Meanwhile, the moment I get home, I move the dragon egg into the dimensional space. From now on, I never have to worry about it being discovered. If the hatched dragon could fit in there too, that would be ideal. But first, I need to figure out how to hatch it. I remember the blood binding rituals from movies. I decide to try it. I squeeze a drop of blood onto the shell. Suddenly, a line of small text appears on the egg. Hatching condition, absorb a sufficient amount of blood. Close to what I expected, but my own blood will never be enough. I will have to figure something out tomorrow. After all, my mind has been wound tight all day, and exhaustion is catching up. I fall asleep quickly. At 5 a.m., a piercing alarm jolts me awake. The altars have refreshed for real. I open my phone and check the forums. A few conclusions emerge quickly. The pre-dawn gray rain causes no harm to the body. It stops at 5 a.m., sharp, and the altars refresh at that same moment. I plan to head out for breakfast and at the same time, think about where to find enough blood. I order a bowl of noodles at a small restaurant. I open the forums on my phone. Today every topic revolves around offerings. Plenty of people have turned into compulsive gamblers over the altars. While I am eating, I overhear a conversation at the next table. One of the men leans in and says in a hushed tone, "Look at all those people out there, obsessed with offering to altars, tossing antique jade pieces in there like degenerate gamblers. They have forgotten one important thing." The other man asks, "What could be more important than the altars?" People still need to eat. They have to eat. So food, oil, and rice are always essential. I am planning to snatch up a small food processing factory at rock-bottom prices. When those lunatics burn through all their money and come crying for food, I will be the food king of Riverside City. At those words, a bolt of lightning explodes in my mind. Food processing involves meat. And where does that meat come from? Slaughterhouses, without a doubt. If I can buy out a slaughterhouse at a bargain price, the blood problem solves itself. I rush back home, open my computer, and start digging through listings. Because of the altars, many factories are now up for sale. I quickly lock onto one listing. Small slaughterhouse on the western outskirts of Riverside City. Urgent sale due to personal reasons. Price negotiable. Without hesitation, I dial the number. We agree on a meeting time. After hanging up, I check my account balance. To some people, this amount would not even cover a single decent offering. But for me, it just might buy a private dragon's nest. 2 p.m. I arrive at the western outskirts of Riverside City. A middle-aged man comes out to greet me. He starts pitching the property. This slaughter line had expensive maintenance done last month. The cold storage refrigeration is top of the line. I just scan the place saying nothing. My cold demeanor makes him uneasy. He tentatively throws out an inflated price. I do not respond. I just shake my head. After some back and forth, I buy the place for 40% of his asking price. He signs the contract and hands over the keys. He also gives me the contact number for a nearby livestock farm. Supply chain problem solved instantly. I do a walkthrough of the property I just bought, then I push open a hidden hatch in the ground. It leads to a worn-down storage room. Suddenly, the Eye of Truth senses a faint energy fluctuation. I carefully brush aside the dust, and an altar emerges before me. Its surface is blood red, and the sound of a beating heart drifts from it. I force down my fear and activate the Eye of Truth. A sharp pain shoots through my eyes. Twisted, blood-burning text appears. Altar number 40, connected coordinate, the Crimson Throne. All things are food, until the Crimson Crown is claimed. Special trait 1, Eternal Altar. This altar exists permanently. It does not count toward the daily offering limit. Unlimited offerings allowed. Special trait 2, Flesh Forge. Any altar reward can be offered here and converted into source blood. Absorbing it permanently boosts the user's overall vitality. My mind reels. This is the lowest numbered altar I have ever seen, and it is permanent. What is even more insane, the offerings are unlimited, and the location is essentially my private domain. With this altar as a hub, every useless reward I get later can be turned into source blood to strengthen my body. The urge to test it is overwhelming. Conveniently, I have an altar reward right in my pocket. I toss in the crude stamina charm I picked up last night. An ancient-looking glass bottle materializes in the center of the altar, half filled with a dark liquid. The Eye of Truth activates. Source blood, once absorbed, slightly increases overall vitality. Permanent enhancement. Exactly what I expected. Without hesitation, I drink it down. I expect a foul, bloody taste. Instead, it is crisp and sweet. Just as I am wondering why I feel nothing, a wave of heat erupts inside me. Every cell in my body greedily drinks in the energy. Steam starts rising off my skin. This sensation is nothing like the items I have used before. This power surges directly from my flesh and blood. I walk over to half a beef carcass hanging on a hook. One simple punch, and over 100 pounds of beef goes flying into the corner. This is more terrifying than I imagined. I have only absorbed one bottle of common source blood. Becoming a god in the flesh might not be a dream. I push down my excitement. Tomorrow I will buy a batch of chickens to hatch the dragon egg. But right now, I need to collect the reward items nobody wants. Countless people have spent fortunes on offerings, only to receive garbage. Those are exactly my target. Gambling is risky. Picking up trash is not. That afternoon, I get in touch with a livestock farm owner, only to run into a new problem. Buying a batch of chickens costs money, and the slaughterhouse purchase has drained my savings. The new era has arrived, but currency still moves the world. So I decide to go on a scavenging run first, and see if I can find any treasures. Now that I have the exclusive Crimson Throne altar, I start hunting for more altars to use up my daily offering limit. But unexpectedly, the moment I reach the wet market, a piercing scream rips through the air ahead. A humanoid creature in tattered monk robes is tearing into a passerby. I immediately activate the Eye of Truth. The carnivore monk, Wrathful One. Ordinary calamity. Falsely accused of stealing and eating mutton, he was beaten to death. He was a temple guard. He hates everything connected to meat offerings. It clicks immediately. Some genius offered meat to an altar and summoned this calamity beast, walking straight into the line of fire. Suddenly, several off-road vehicles roar in. Doors slam open and figures leap out. At the front is Commander Ryan of the Anomaly Affairs Bureau. His face is grim as he barks orders. The scene is locked down within seconds. The crowd is quickly evacuated, but I stay close, not leaving. Ryan glances back at the woman behind him. Commander Ryan, the energy fluctuation is very strong. Be careful. Emily's expression is serious. From behind the cordon, I hear every word clearly. Holy crap. She can sense energy fluctuations. What kind of ability is that? Suddenly, Emily's senses pick up something. She looks straight at me. Our eyes meet. I force down the panic rising in my chest. On the surface, I maintain the curiosity and fear of an ordinary bystander. Emily's brow furrows slightly. She just sensed an unusual energy fluctuation, but it was too faint. She is not sure. Was it just her imagination? Right at that moment, the wrathful monk inside the market lets out a furious roar. Ryan immediately orders his team to lay down suppressing fire, but the monk is completely unaffected by firearms. Seeing this, Ryan shouts, "Squad 2, move!" The words have barely left his mouth when two figures shoot forward, one from each side. One of them moves so fast he leaves an afterimage. He raises a dagger and strikes at the back of the monk's neck. The other lifts a massive iron rack and slams it down on the creature's head. The fierce assault leaves the monk wide open. Ryan seizes the opening and joins the fight himself. His long blade crackles with blinding electricity. A single strike, and the monk's head falls clean off. Watching this, I am genuinely shocked. Their coordination is flawless, and the gap between us right now is enormous. I need to level up fast. The sun is about to set. I decide to find a safer area to search for altars. I head toward the outskirts. Along the way, I see plenty of altars, but their overall quality is even worse than the first day. As I walk past an unfinished building, the Eye of Truth picks up a faint energy fluctuation. I climb the stairs to the second floor. A strangely shaped altar appears before me. Altar number 1955. Connected coordinate. The City of Eternal Clocks. A clockmaker god who pursues absolute precision. Because the eternal clock he created is too perfect, he has fallen into endless boredom. He longs for change. Reading this, I cannot help but mutter, is this guy just bored out of his mind? The altar number is low, which suggests good rewards, but time cannot be seen or touched. I cannot think of any offering that fits, so I leave for now and search elsewhere. As I head deeper into the outskirts, I find another altar. This one is woven from spider silk. Altar number 37112. Connected coordinate the pig demon's lair. A pig demon mother who has lost her singing voice. Her child cries every night from nightmares. She wants to sing the pig demon's lullaby once more to soothe him. Reading this, my head starts spinning. I cannot even hum a single human lullaby all the way through. A pig demon's lullaby is way out of my league. I turn and leave, frustrated. 2 failures in a row are starting to make me anxious. Just as I am about to give up on this area, a faint glow from a bus stop catches my eye. I quickly walk toward it. An altar built entirely from matchsticks comes into view. Just standing near it, I am drowned in waves of sorrow. I activate the Eye of Truth. Altar number 23333. Connected coordinate the snowy street corner. In a blizzard, a little match girl feels confusion and sorrow like never before. She cannot understand why the people walking by no longer need the matches she sells. Reading the description, I am stunned. This familiar setup, this sorrowful atmosphere. Is this not the little match girl from the fairy tale? Even fairy tales have become real dimensions. As shocking as it is, this altar might actually have something. After thinking it over, I pull out the lighter I just bought and place it on the matchstick altar. Times are changing. If you cannot catch the wave, how are you ever going to sell matches? The moment my words fade, something strange happens. A deep hum rises from the altar, then a purple beam erupts from it. Here we go again. I immediately fix my gaze on the reward. A palm-sized box hovers in the air. I am full of questions, but I still rush forward and grab it. A bad feeling creeps in. Name, Matchbox of Hope. Grade, Epic. Generates 5 matches of hope automatically every day at 5 a.m. After reading this, I fall silent. An epic grade item that just produces 5 lousy matches a day? Out of curiosity, I pull out all the matches and hold them. Match of Hope. Grade, Common. When lit, it burns warm and bright. Wind and water cannot easily extinguish it. Inflicts bonus burning damage on calamity targets. Damage to calamities. Now that is interesting. If I run into a blacklight monster, this could come in handy. But only 5 matches a day still feels weak. Just as I am about to put the matchbox into the dimensional vault, a thought strikes like lightning. The matches are common grade. If I offer them all to the Crimson Throne, would I not get 5 free bottles of source blood every day? I cannot hold back the excitement anymore. I have to test it right now. I sprint back toward the slaughterhouse. 20 minutes later, I burst into the slaughterhouse. I rush to the Crimson Throne. I take out one match and place it in the center. I hold my breath, watching closely. The next second, a familiar scene unfolds. A small dark red bottle materializes out of thin air. Source blood. It worked. My heart races with excitement. The Matchbox of Hope combined with the Crimson Throne. This combo is incredible. 0 risk, and a steady, terrifying stream of gains. After offering all the remaining matches, I now have 5 bottles of source blood. I drink them all down. My blood feels like it is boiling. My whole body burns with heat. A few minutes later, I finally adapt to the new power. I check my phone. There are only 2 hours left until midnight. 2 offering chances left, and I cannot afford to waste them. The City of Eternal Clocks altar comes back to mind. Low number, time-based theme. Its reward must be powerful. But what could possibly serve as the right offering? At that thought, I look around the room. My eyes land on an old desk calendar. My father brought it home from his office before he passed away. I have never had the heart to throw it out. The calendar is covered in markings of all kinds. The most striking one is a black circle drawn on June 7th. That is the day my parents died in a car accident. It is also the day I visit their graves every year. Flipping further, September 15th is the day Vivian and I started dating. December 24th is her birthday. There are many other markings as well. Payday, credit card due, a classmate's wedding, rent payments. Some good, some bad. Together they map out a timeline that belongs to me. Suddenly the idea about the clock altar becomes clear. The time it creates is flawless. No deviation, no surprises, no accidents, no joy, no pain. it is like a dead world. But this calendar is different. It carries the trajectory of a single human life. The time inside it is messy, complex, full of uncertainty. Time like that is alive. What the altar needs is not more advanced technology. It needs an understanding of time. With that thought, I head out, straight for the clock altar. When I stand before it again, I take out the calendar and solemnly place it in the center. Perfect time has no life. This time, full of regrets and an imperfect life, is the kind that is truly alive. Do you like this change? The moment my words fade, the calendar on the altar vanishes. Time itself seems to freeze. Everything around me falls dead silent. Suddenly, golden light explodes outward. The entire unfinished building blazes with brightness. Countless fragments of human lives flash before my eyes like a runaway slideshow. At the same time, an ancient pocket watch materializes at the center. I quickly activate the Eye of Truth. Pocket Watch of Fate. Grade, Legendary, Passive Ability, grants the wielder extreme sensitivity to incoming changes. The user gains reaction and judgment time far beyond ordinary humans. Reading this, I cannot help but frown. What good is that? But the moment I close my hand around the watch, an indescribable sensation washes through me. I realize how foolish I was. This watch does not grant raw strength or speed. It grants control and awareness. It allows me to channel my superhuman vitality and strength with absolute precision. To be safe, I quickly place the Pocket Watch of Fate into the dimensional vault. To my surprise, the resonance with the world does not weaken at all. It still works. From now on, if I ever face another sneak attack, I can take them down without using any of my trump cards. I check the time again. 10:40 p.m., just over an hour until the altars refresh. One last offering left. But after combing through the entire area, I only find two useless altars. One connects to a swamp full of giant mosquitoes. The other connects to a dung beetle paradise. Suddenly, faint shouting and cursing drifts in from the distance. There are other people here? I instantly go on alert. Crouching low, I sneak forward. In an open storage yard, two groups of people are facing off. Right beside them stands an altar glowing with soft pink light, shaped like a delicate, slender hand. My heart pounds against my will. This altar looks anything but ordinary. I activate the Eye of Truth, and look. Altar number 9269. Connected coordinate, the Palace of Bliss. A succubus queen who has fought countless battles, numb to ordinary pleasure. She craves a physical stimulation that can shake the soul. Reading this, I suck in a sharp breath. The altar number is low, but the description is, well, a bit unconventional. Then I instinctively pat my backpack and remember one item I have inside. That is a perfect match. At that moment, the situation in the yard shifts. On one side stands a bald man wearing a thick gold chain, backed by more than a dozen thugs. The other side only has 4 people. At the front is a tall, striking woman. The bald thug sneers and steps forward. Do not make us do this the hard way. You have the nerve to steal from my brothers? Hand it over now, throw in a few extra treasures, and maybe we will let you live. But the woman across from him just spits out one cold word. Get lost. The bald man flies into rage. Brothers, get them! Just as the dozen-plus thugs charge in screaming, the 4 on the woman's side instantly form a defensive formation. The woman, dagger in hand, charges right back at the thugs. The others are no slouches either. One of them, a powerhouse type, swings a steel pipe with brutal force. The other 2 strike at the legs and groin. The thugs start losing ground fast. The bald man roars in fury and unleashes a kick at the powerhouse fighter. The man spits blood instantly and flies a few meters back. With the bald man joining the fight, the tide turns instantly. The woman's allies are cut down one after another. The bald man corners the woman against a shipping container. She does not back down. A flash of cold ferocity crosses her eyes. All of you, die. The bald man senses danger and tries to retreat, but the woman crushes a flesh bead in her hand. Black mist sweeps across the entire yard. From within emerges a creature over 3 meters tall. Holy crap. A black light monster. The thugs freeze in horror. But what happens next is even worse. The monster turns the moment it appears and immediately rips the closest powerhouse fighter in half. The bald man is scared out of his wits. She is insane. That woman is completely insane. She kills her own people. The thugs scatter, but the monster has already surrounded them. A one-sided slaughter begins. I watch from the sidelines, my heart pounding. This woman is genuinely ruthless. To escape, she is willing to drag everyone down to hell with her. She is a walking time bomb. Within minutes, the only one left fighting is the bald thug, struggling to escape. But with one leap, the monster pins him down. A few minutes later, the yard has become a slaughterhouse. The thugs and the woman's allies are all corpses now, but the monster keeps prowling, looking for more targets. The woman who summoned it is hiding behind a pillar, not daring to even breathe. I check the time, frowning. 11:50 p.m. I cannot wait any longer, or my last offering of the day is wasted. I take a deep breath, steady myself, and channel all my vitality. I charge straight at the wild woman. Die! The woman behind the pillar senses danger immediately. But instead of running, she grips her dagger and counterattacks. She thrusts the blade at my chest from an impossibly tricky angle. The old me would never have dodged this strike. But with the source blood and the pocket watch of fate at work, her attack trajectory is laughably clear. I can even predict her follow-up after I dodge. I tilt my body slightly and slip past the strike. Before she can react, I slash open her arm. Another slash takes out her other hand. Both her arms are useless in an instant. She starts screaming for mercy. We can talk, please, mister. Have a little pity. But my eyes are ice cold. No mercy. Once a fight starts, you finish it. I drive the fruit knife straight at her throat. There is no way she can dodge this. But just as the blade is about to touch her neck, the woman screams, and with a loud pop, she explodes into a cloud of blood mist out of nowhere. My blade cuts through empty air. After the mist clears, the woman is gone without a trace. I am stunned. She did not die. She escaped right in front of me. What kind of insane ability is that? I had assumed she would be an easy kill tonight. I never imagined this world could be so deep. A survival skill like this is something I have never even heard of. Still, she will not dare come back anytime soon. Right at that moment, a roar mixed with rushing wind snaps me back. The blacklight monster has spotted me. Just as its claws are about to rake across me, I take a small step back and evade the strike. Using the brief opening when its attack misses, I slice a gash across its leg with the fruit knife. The monster howls in pain and counterattacks. But every move it makes looks like slow motion to me. The prediction granted by the pocket watch of fate is just too strong. Within a few exchanges, I use my superior footwork and speed to leave it covered in wounds, but I cannot find its fatal weakness. As I keep dancing around it, I activate the Eye of Truth. The back of its skull glows red. That is the spot. I use the light step leggings to leap high into the air. I drive the knife into the back of its skull with every ounce of strength I have. Its massive body crashes to the ground. I let out a long breath. Finally done. I cannot afford to waste a second. I pull the dragon egg out of the dimensional space. Dinner time, little guy. I place it next to the monster's corpse. The egg seems to come alive. The pool of blood on the ground vanishes at a visible rate. Even the monster's corpse withers up within moments. A line of small text appears on the egg. Hatching progress, 2%. My heart races with excitement. The breeding strategy works. I am thrilled. I place the dragon egg back at the spot where the two groups fought. Within moments, the egg drains every drop of blood from the ground. A few scattered orbs of light pop up beside the corpses. I scan them briefly. Nothing valuable. I toss them all into the dimensional vault. Once I get back, I will convert them into source blood. This haul is a jackpot. With everything done, I turn my eyes toward the seductive succubus altar. Craving stimulation, my succubus queen? Then feel the charm of fire and ice. I pull out the tiger balm. I place it on the altar. The jade hand seems to come alive. A purple light quickly wraps around me. With a stimulant this intense, I figured it would at least trigger a red mythic light, but all I get is purple. Looks like this queen has seen way too much in her time. But the next second, something strange happens. The purple energy does not fade. Instead, it gathers on the altar into a human shape. A blurry figure slowly emerges. I instinctively grip my knife, but what appears is a stunning female figure with a perfect body. A pair of delicate little demon horns sit on her head. Behind her, a tail with a heart-shaped tip sways gently. A living, breathing succubus. Her dreamy gaze locks onto me. Mortal, you have pleased me. As your reward, I will grant you one chance to fulfill any wish. The succubus's voice leaves my throat dry. The blood in my body starts rushing somewhere it should not. Holy crap, I just unlocked a hidden tier wife. But just as the air thickens with tension, a wildly out-of-place hum cuts through. The dragon egg beside me starts shaking violently. Before I can react, an indescribable, terrifying suction force erupts from the black egg. The freshly formed succubus freezes. She senses death itself. The suction defies all logic. It drags her in instantly. The moment she touches the egg, she dissolves into pure purple energy and is devoured by it. Dead silence surrounds me. I freeze on the spot, my mind blank. What just happened? Where is my epic grade wife? The dragon egg on the ground lets out what sounds like a satisfied burp. Then it slowly floats back into my arms. I hold it with trembling hands, because the text on the egg is climbing wildly. Hatching progress just shot up to 41%. The energy of one epic grade succubus is that massive? At the same time, I notice a purple glow on the egg, with a few tiny heart-shaped marks now etched into it. An abyssal dragon paired with little hearts. The egg nuzzles restlessly against me. I know my succubus wife is not coming back. I jab the shell with a vicious poke. You better hatch into a hot girl to make up for this. Right at that moment, a clap of thunder splits the sky. The gray rain begins. I duck under a nearby awning, and every trace of the earlier battle dissolves in seconds. I start replaying the fight in my head. That woman escaping bothers me. It is like a venomous snake hiding in the shadows. I decide to slip into a nearby 3-story building, hoping to catch her. A surprise kill could put an end to this threat for good. Meanwhile, at the Anomaly Affairs Bureau headquarters in the Dragon Nation capital, a researcher in a white coat bursts in. General, good news. We have cracked the secret of the gray rain. General Lee looks up in disbelief. Tell me everything. Professor Carter takes a deep breath. We analyzed an unknown active substance in the rain. It is harmless to the human body, but it temporarily disables superhuman abilities. What? General Lee freezes. Every senior officer in the command center wears an expression of shock. Professor Carter barrels on, his words tumbling out. Only after the rain fully evaporates do abilities return. That means between midnight and 5 a.m. During those exact hours, any so-called powerful sacrificer who gets touched by the rain reverts to normal. Just an ordinary human. General Lee's eyes flash with realization. If that is truly the case, then we can use the rainy nights to capture sacrificers who have slipped out of our control. Professor Carter adds, the rain itself cannot be stored, but if we can extract the active substance, we can develop suppressants or high-pressure water cannons. If they pull this off, it will be the sharpest weapon in their hands. Inside the abandoned building, I scroll through the forums while waiting for that woman. Suddenly, a post flashes by. Shocking secret, do not go outside when it rains. You will turn back into a mortal. When I tap on it, the post is already gone. I immediately sense it was deliberately deleted. If this is true, that means the crazy woman cannot escape into blood mist while it rains. But then a wave of unease hits me. Does that mean I would be affected too? If I revert to a mortal, then forget about hunting anyone. Then I remember the source blood from the Crimson Throne. The description says permanently solidified. That means it is not a temporary buff, not equipment. It is my own strength. The rain can strip away armor, but it cannot dissolve muscle. The dimensional vault is also a sealed space. It should not be contaminated. And the pocket watch of fate is inside the vault, so my perception ability stays intact. Under the gray rain, while everyone else gets reduced to weaklings, my own weakening is barely noticeable. Does that not make me the only god of this rainy night? My heart is about to burst. I have to test this. Right now, I stand in the gray rain that everyone else fears, a grin on my face I cannot even hold back. This rain can wipe out every superhuman ability, but it cannot touch the body enhancement from the source blood. While every other ability user gets reduced to weaklings, I am the only god of this rainy night. Meanwhile, the woman who witnessed my terrifying power has just escaped back to her mansion, using her blood escape ability. Her men in black, seeing her in this state, panic immediately. A butler rushes over. "Miss Scarlet, how did you get hurt this badly? Where are the others?" Scarlet's eyes are filled with terror. "They are all dead. Even I almost got killed by that stranger. He is terrifyingly strong." Orders the butler to bring a sketch artist. She is desperate to capture my face on paper. Meanwhile, the moment I get back to the slaughterhouse, I dump all my collected items into the Crimson Throne. These items lose their effect under the gray rain. Better to convert everything into source blood for personal enhancement. After downing all 4 bottles of source blood, I head inside and crash. At 5 a.m., I wake up right on schedule. I had already arranged things with the farm owner last night. The first batch of chickens has already arrived. I turn into a ruthless machine and start processing. After 500 chickens are fully consumed, the dragon egg's hatching progress reaches 42.3%. 500 chickens for only 1.3%. Is this thing not a literal money-eating beast? I decide to change my strategy. The arrival of the altars has hit traditional industries hard. The farm owner is anxious because he cannot move his livestock. If I can quickly turn his poultry into half-finished products and let him handle the sales channels, I only need to charge a processing fee, while the dragon egg absorbs what it needs. That works perfectly. I dial the farm owner, I lay out the idea straight up, and we hit it off immediately. That afternoon, Boss Walker delivers another 500 chickens. He even wants to bring in chickens from his competitors. I know he is angling to be a middleman and pocket the difference, but until the dragon egg hatches, I want him to bring me as much poultry as possible. After Boss Walker leaves, the flesh mill starts up again. This time I do not chase efficiency like I did in the morning. Instead, I focus on controlling the angle and force of each cut. This is a unique form of training. I can feel myself and the blade in my hand becoming more and more in sync. This repetitive work sharpens my control over my power. As night falls, the dragon egg's hatching progress reaches 43.6%. I shoulder my bag and head out. Night is the best time for offerings. On the other side of the city, Vivian and her boyfriend Damon arrive at Night Bar. They meet a man who calls himself Vince. After paying a 500,000 yuan introduction fee, Vince gives them a mysterious location. Soon, Vivian and Damon drive off. Damon cannot contain his excitement on the way. Once we get into the Black Shadow, the biggest underground organization in Riverside City, no one in this town will dare touch us. Your loser X and all those nobodies will know better than to mess with us. A flash of anticipation crosses Vivian's eyes too. That loser, probably scraping by somewhere right now, and he had the nerve to block me, has not sent a single message in days. Meanwhile, I sneeze on my way to find an altar. I just went through the darkest moment of my life. The altar only gave me a blue-grade item, the Windrunner boots. This item can dramatically boost movement speed, but during a rainy night it becomes useless. When I get back, I will offer it to the Crimson Throne first, and see what grade of source blood it converts into. By around 11 p.m., I spot something glowing by a small river. As I get closer, I find an altar that is different on the left and the right sides. On the left stands a flaming phoenix glowing with red light. On the right rises a dull, lifeless heavy ruler. I quickly activate the Eye of Truth. Only then do I realize the two altars are linked together by a thin thread of energy between them. So twin altars are actually a thing? But the more I look, the more uneasy I get, because neither altar is ordinary. The Phoenix Altar. Altar number 7766. Connected coordinate, the 9 heavens immortal realm. Selena, the proud daughter of the heavens, is troubled. 3 years ago, her fiancé Blaze suffered a regression in his cultivation. The family elders are now pressuring her to call off the engagement. She stands at a crossroads, unsure which path to take. The altar on the right is just as extraordinary. Altar number 6677, connected coordinate, the 9 heavens immortal realm. Blaze, the genius young man, has had his cultivation mysteriously stall. He has fallen from grace, now scorned by everyone as a useless wreck. He longs to break free, but no one will help him. Reading this, my heart pounds wildly. Selena and Blaze. I know exactly where the story is going. As the puppet master behind the scenes, what should I do now? If I do not push Selena to break off the engagement, Blaze may never activate his cheat power in the depths of despair, and I will get nothing. So I have to follow the story and stir the pot at the critical moment. Selena may not be heartless, but the pressure from her family has already planted the seed of breaking it off. So let this breakup come even more violently. Driving Blaze to the edge maximizes the reward. I quickly grab a pen and paper and start fanning the flames. Selena, how can a phoenix flock with sparrows? The path of cultivation is brutal. He can no longer keep pace with you. To reach the summit, you must first cut what holds you back. I place the paper into the phoenix altar. The altar produces a gentle suction, and the paper vanishes. A vision screen suddenly appears on the altar. Selena is sobbing uncontrollably, clutching her engagement token from Blaze. Outside her door, the family elder's cold voice rings out impatiently. Selena, stop being stubborn. The ancestors have decided. The Blaze family is no longer worthy of marrying into the Nalan family. She bites her lip hard. At that moment, a red feather flies in through the window and lands on her hand, carrying a slip of paper. After reading what is written on it, she suddenly trembles and whispers to herself, "How can a phoenix flock with sparrows?" The confusion in her eyes vanishes. Her phoenix bloodline begins to boil. She crushes the jade pendant in her hand and walks off with the elder, heading to the Blaze household without looking back. When the vision fades from the altar, I have officially become the mastermind behind the breakup. But no reward appears on the altar. Does the system require both sides to play out first? I turn my eyes to the heavy ruler altar. I pick up the pen again and write another message. A tiger on flat ground does not bow, just waiting for the wind to rise and laugh at the mountains and rivers. Fortunes rise and fall, never look down on a poor young man. After writing it, a surge of hot blood rushes to my head. I slap the note onto the altar. With a thunderous boom, the karmic vision this time bursts forth even more violently than before. Inside the Blaze family hall, the atmosphere is suffocating. Selena's expression is ice cold. Even the elder behind her wears nothing but contempt. The Nalan family hereby declares the engagement with the Blaze family officially broken. A toad lusting after a swan. Do not even think about dragging down the future of our holy maiden. The mockery from the crowd makes Blaze clench his fists. Endless humiliation surges in his chest. He looks towards Selena standing nearby, his eyes resolute. Fine. Then today I divorce you. From this day forward, we have nothing to do with each other. Afterwards, Blaze stands on the back mountain, roaring at the sky. Just as he is about to break, a slip of paper carrying my will drifts down and lands right on his face. He freezes for a moment. He unfolds it, and overly dramatic words leap into his vision. Fortunes rise and fall, never look down on a poor young man. Blaze's body trembles violently. The flame in his heart, almost extinguished, suddenly flares back to life. My fate is mine, not the heavens. I, Blaze, will never sink into oblivion. Just as his fierce conviction reaches its peak, the black ring on his right hand bursts with brilliant light. An aura that has slept for ages awakens from within. Little one, you have suffered all these years. Outside, the vision screen shatters in that instant. A surge of energy crossing time and space slams into the altar. The reward this time is going to be earth-shaking. What grade will it be? I stare hard at the altars. The Phoenix altar on the left erupts with a pillar of black light shooting into the sky. A terrifying aura explodes outward, soaked in rage and resentment. Holy crap. Black light. I am done for. I have to run. But at that moment, the heavy ruler altar on the right also bursts forth with a pillar of energy. Blinding red light lights up the entire sky. I stop dead in my tracks. Red light. I am not running anywhere. Looking at the rewards from both altars, my scalp tingles. One pillar of soaring black light and one of the red light that drives everyone mad. I make my decision instantly. Not running. I turn and sprint straight toward the heavy ruler altar, snatching the item that appears within the red light, a dagger wreathed in black mist. At the same time, the ground beneath my feet shakes violently. A figure rises from the black light altar. Her face bears a slight resemblance to Selena's, but her expression is wild with madness, and her voice is dripping with hatred. You made me lose him. I quickly activate the Eye of Truth. Selena's inner demon wraith, grade, epic, a resentment calamity born from twisted karma, shares the same bloodline as Selena, personality, obsessive and insane. I instantly try to bolt, but the wraith chases me down immediately. A massive force slams into my chest. Even with a body as tough as steel, I cough up a mouthful of blood. My heart sinks in pure terror. Holy crap, how am I supposed to fight this? The wraith closes in instantly. A straight punch aimed at my throat. The pocket watch of fate is screaming warnings. I leap back, dodging the strike, and counterthrust at the wraith. Just as I think the dagger will never pierce her defense, it slides in without any resistance. My eyes light up. This dagger is no joke. The wraith yelps in pain and retreats, refusing to engage at close range. Then she hurls a ball of black flame at me. I roll and barely dodge it, then prepare to go on the offensive. If the dagger can break her defense, then killing her is not impossible. I activate the Eye of Truth. Purple light flickers on the wraith's abdomen. That is her weak spot. I lunge forward, stabbing straight at her belly. The wraith blocks immediately, and one hand swipes at me. I shift the dagger's angle in an instant, slashing open a gash on her belly. But her sharp claws tear deep into my left arm. The light on the wraith's abdomen dims. Then we trade blows head on. I drive the wound on her belly even deeper, but I get smashed and sent flying as well. As I struggle to get up, my spine feels like it is about to snap. The light on the wraith's belly grows dimmer and dimmer. She presses her palms together, gathering every ounce of resentment in her body. A massive blade forms instantly and slashes down at me. This is exactly the opening I am waiting for. I throw out a ticket to Act 4. The wraith's giant blade dissolves instantly. Her face fills with confusion and regret. I burst forward at full speed, stabbing her abdomen again and again. Finally, her body crashes to the ground. The fight is over. My whole body is covered in wounds. My left arm and ribs are all broken. Even so, I do not forget the dragon egg. I take it out and quickly direct it to absorb the black blood on the ground. The hatching progress climbs rapidly, finally stopping at 49.6%. At the same time, the Eye of Truth catches something odd. The lingering resentment in the air does not dissipate. Instead, it all gathers into the black dagger. Only then do I remember I have not checked its properties yet. With the Eye of Truth active, the dagger's information appears before me. Soul Dagger Basic. Growth progress 97 points. Grade, growth type mythic, can devour souls, resentment, and fear to nourish itself. The wielder gains massive resistance to mental corruption. A flash of joy crosses my eyes. Another mythic grade item, and it resists mental attacks too. This is exactly what I have been missing. Source blood can boost my stats to terrifying levels, but if I get mind controlled into a vegetable, even the strongest stats can be ground down to nothing. This dagger fills exactly that gap. After resting, I recover a bit of strength. I check my phone. 11:40 to 5 p.m., I drag my battered body limping toward the slaughterhouse. At the same time, 3 off-road vehicles are speeding toward this location. Commander Ryan in the passenger seat has a grim, dark expression. The past 2 days have nearly driven them mad. First the terrifying red light in the city center, then the gold light at the abandoned factory. Now another pillar of red light has erupted in the western outskirts. This time he has to find some leads, but Agent Emily beside him sounds shaky. Commander, if we do not arrive before midnight, every trace of the battle and residual energy will be washed away. When the convoy arrives, the scene is pure devastation. Clear battle marks cover the ground. Not far away lies a body that is neither human nor demon. Ryan immediately orders his team to gather evidence and signals Emily to use energy rewind. Emily steps forward briskly, presses her palms together, and closes her eyes. As soft blue light spreads outward just as a vision is about to appear, right before her eyes, her body suddenly jolts. She spits out a mouthful of blood and collapses backward, unconscious. Ryan is shocked and immediately catches her. At the same time, scattered raindrops begin to fall, and a bolt of lightning splits the sky. Midnight has arrived. Every clue is washed clean by the gray rain again. The altar and the blood on the ground all vanish. Fortunately, a team member rushes over to report. "We collected a few drops of blood." Ryan grits his teeth. "Report this to headquarters immediately. Notify everyone, all hands on deck tonight." Meanwhile, I finally make it back to the slaughterhouse. My injuries forced me to take over 2 hours just to walk back. The first thing I do is offer the Windrunner boots to the Crimson Throne. A brand new bottle of source blood appears. Grade, uncommon. Once absorbed, significantly increases overall vitality. Permanent enhancement. Seeing the words significantly increases vitality, I get a little excited and down it in one go. Shakes violently. A surge of power rampages through me. My bones and wounds regenerate at a furious pace. This uncommon source blood is the ultimate life-saving elixir. Moments later, my wounds start to scab over. I take out the dagger again. Tonight's battle has forged a bond between me and this weapon. Starting tomorrow, I have to keep slaughtering chickens. Every chicken I kill from now on will sharpen my striking technique, boost the dragon egg's progress, and improve the dagger's growth. A true 3-in-1 perfect cycle. The next morning I find that my wounds have nearly fully healed. I take out 5 fresh matches and offer them. After drinking down the 4 bottles of source blood, I call Boss Walker and tell him to bring me everything he has in stock. 1,200 chickens arrive shortly after. I pull out the soul dagger and begin training. After a full morning of processing, the soul dagger's growth reaches 197 points. The dragon egg gains another point as well, finally reaching 54% hatching progress. At that very moment, the egg finally stirs. A small crack splits the shell, and a fluffy tail pokes out, with a familiar heart-shaped tip. Did the devoured succubus not have a tail just like that? Well, well, well. Worthy of the dragon egg I raised with my own hands. You better hatch into a cute little dragon girl for me. Meanwhile, Scarlet and her group arrive at the abandoned storage yard. The woman following beside her is none other than Vivian. Thanks to her insane luck, Vivian has successfully become a core member of the underground organization, the Black Shadow. Suddenly, Vivian asks with some confusion, "In a place this remote, is the master you mentioned really here?" Scarlet turns and shoots her an icy glance. "Do not think your luck gives you the right to run your mouth. That man is incredibly strong. For trash like you, one finger is all he needs. If not for the informant saying red light appeared in this area last night, I would never dare risk coming back here." Not far away, on the rooftop of an unfinished building, a figure silently observes Scarlet's group. Reporting to the Bureau, suspicious target spotted at the abandoned storage yard in the western outskirts. Inside the Anomaly Affairs Bureau in Riverside City, Commander Ryan hears the report. A flicker of relief crosses his grim face. Finally, a lead. After acquiring both the Mythic-grade Dragon Egg and the dagger, I finish processing 1,000 chickens in just one morning. The soul dagger and the dragon egg's progress have both surged. I am in a great mood, ready to head back into the city and find chances to make offerings. But just as I step into the bustling pedestrian street, a piercing, despairing scream tears through the air. A middle-aged man clutches an empty box, wailing, "My wife left me. My daughter does not even recognize me. What is the point of living anymore?" The security captain beside him looks annoyed. "You think this is a wishing well? When you were gambling like a degenerate, did you ever think about the consequences?" The crowd around the man is buzzing with chatter. From their words, I piece together what happened. The man sold his house, bought a jade pendant, all for this one offering today, and the altar gave him back a useless wooden stick. I turn my gaze to the altar that caused the tragedy. It has a strange shape and glows with gold light. No wonder it tempted the man to gamble everything here. I activate the Eye of Truth. Altar number 17626. Connected coordinate the goblin's abandoned vault. A goblin collector who has grown tired of gold and jewels longs to collect the most advanced technological creations in the world. Reading this, I cannot help but smirk. The jade thumb ring this man went bankrupt to buy was offered to a goblin obsessed with tech. This ending was written from the start. The security captain signals his men to drag the man away. Suddenly, an arrogant voice cuts through the crowd. "Hold on." A stunningly seductive figure walks over. None other than Vivian herself. She lifts her chin, basking in the greedy stares around her, then glances at the middle-aged man. "If you die, you really lose everything. Want to get back what you have lost?" Hope flares in the man's eyes. "Yes, I want to. Whatever you want me to do, I will. If you want offerings every day to gamble with, then come with me." Vivian snaps her fingers. Several bodyguards behind her instantly hoist the man up. The crowd is stunned. Is this beauty here to do charity? Was it not always rich men keeping innocent girls? Why is this the reverse? Two thugs on the edge of the crowd hear the chatter and snort with laughter. You all do not get it. This is called farming. Plenty of people have no money for offerings, but others have all the money in the world and only a limited number of daily offerings. That is where these farmed losers come in. Everything they get from offerings goes to the top. If they pull good items, they get fed feasts of land and sea, living the high life. If they fail to pull anything good, they get squeezed until completely useless, drained to the last drop, hence the name, human slot machines. I hear every word clearly from the side, but other people's fates are not my concern. Just as I turn to leave, a voice rings out behind me. Hey you, wait! I recognize Vivian's voice, but I do not respond. I keep walking. Stop! Are you deaf? I told you to stop! In an instant, several bodyguards in black rush over and surround me. I am forced to stop and slowly turn around. Vivian wears an expression of twisted satisfaction. Ever since she latched onto the Black Shadow, the biggest underground organization in the city, her streak of green lights has made her a star within the group, but I am like a thorn lodged in her heart. A loser like me had the audacity to block and delete her, and now I just walked right into her. She crosses her arms and looks down at me with a mocking smile. You blocked me, then could not stop yourself from coming to find me. Regretting it now? Too late though. The crowd erupts in laughter and murmurs. Where did this gigolo come from? Sounds like her ex. A toad lusting after a swan exactly like this, but my stomach is growling. I have zero patience for Vivian right now. Seeing my indifference, Vivian finally snaps. Still putting on an act? Suddenly she kicks off her right high heel and pulls off her black stocking right there in public. You wanted me to take pity on you, did you not? Get on your knees and kiss my toes and I will toss you 20,000 yuan as dog food money. She pulls a thick stack of bills out of her bag. The crowd erupts in jeers. This guy hit the jackpot. Lick it, lick it. Why does the goddess reward him? Can I take his place? The voices of troublemakers blend together and pull me out of my hunger-induced daze. What is this woman blabbering about? Is she not just delaying my trip to the open-air food stall? Seeing me unmoved, Vivian finally snaps. Get on your knees, now. But the moment she finishes speaking, a sharp smack rings out, loud enough to silence the noise around us. Vivian's pretty face whips backward. A red handprint blooms across her pale skin. Then I backhand her with such force that she crashes to the ground. Vivian clutches her face in disbelief. The bodyguards rush at me instantly, but after a few dull thuds, they go flying with screams of pain. I walk over to the trembling Vivian and shoot her a contemptuous look. You wish. Then I stride off without another glance. The crowd watches me leave in stunned silence. At that moment, a man in the crowd quickly pulls out his phone to report. Target Peacock has just had a violent confrontation on the pedestrian street. Ever since Scarlet and Vivian appeared at the abandoned storage yard, they had been on the Anomaly Affairs Bureau's radar. Peacock is Vivian's codename, and the undercover scouts monitor every move she makes. The man continues his report. The other party seems to be her ex-boyfriend, and he has serious combat skills. Took down those bodyguards like it was a game. Inside the Anomaly Affairs Bureau, Ryan hears the report and just says, got it. Minor scuffle. Log it. Keep observing. But Emily, who is studying files nearby, suddenly speaks up. Wait. She stares at the photo sent in by the informant. My figure in the picture is blurry, but something about it feels familiar to her. Ryan stops what he is doing instantly and looks over. Are you sure you have seen him before? But no matter how hard Emily tries to remember, nothing comes to mind. Maybe she has just been under too much pressure lately. Ryan's eyes flicker as he stares at the screen. Send 2 people to look into Vivian's ex-boyfriend. Run a check on him. Sending bodyguards flying like that means he has gotten some real solid power from the altars. Meanwhile, I head toward the familiar open-air food stall. The place is just as it always was, packed with people and full of life. I find an empty seat and order a few of my favorite dishes. Just then, a middle-aged man in his 40s walks toward me. He clutches a red bag, weaving between drinking tables. Soon he stops at the table next to mine, where a group of men are playing drinking games. Excuse me, gentlemen. I have an item here. Could you take a look? It is a blue-grade item I just pulled today. Blue-grade? The men freeze. The man pulls out a blue and white porcelain teacup from his bag. They take it curiously and inspect it one by one, even using a flashlight to examine it carefully, but they cannot figure out what the teacup actually does. The bearded man waves his hand impatiently. Just tell us what it does. How much do you want for it? The middle-aged man bites his lip and holds up 3 fingers. The function is not clear yet. The bearded man spits out his drink. 30,000? Have you lost your mind? 30,000 for a useless teacup with no known purpose? The middle-aged man tries to explain, but he is shouted down. I take in everything from my seat. Then the Eye of Truth activates instantly, landing on the unassuming teacup. Cup of stillness. Grade. Uncommon. Can hold the gray rain. Reading the description, I suck in a sharp breath. This is a divine artifact. The gray rain can wipe out every superhuman ability, but normally it cannot be stored. With this cup, all I have to do is splash the stored gray rain, and I can instantly cripple a top-tier ability user. I have to buy this. Right now. With that thought, I quickly call the middle-aged man over. He hurries over. Boss, want to take a look at my item? This really is a blue-grade item. The bearded man at the next table quickly warns me, young man, do not be a fool. This guy is obviously a con artist. A real blue-grade item costs way more than a few tens of thousands. I just smile, nod, and gesture for the man to sit down. Waiter, add 2 more chicken legs and a large beef chow mein. This guy is hungry. Extra meat, please. The middle-aged man cannot believe it. Not only does the boss not chase him away, he is even buying him food. This young man looks harmless enough, but is he secretly planning to harvest my kidneys? When the hot food arrives, the middle-aged man digs in greedily. After he finishes, I say, I will take the porcelain teacup. His name is David, a former senior investment analyst. His daughter fell seriously ill, draining every penny of his savings. With no other options, he was forced to sell the porcelain teacup. After we settle the deal, I take David with me to withdraw the cash. On the way, David clutches the porcelain cup, looking uneasy. Young man, do you really trust me? Hearing that, my footsteps slow. Uncle David, what I trust is not the cup. It is the spirit of a father willing to give everything for his daughter. The most precious thing in this world is not treasure. It is the light that still burns in your eyes. All this time, he has endured nothing but cold stares and mockery. My words are like warm sunlight to him. Young man, I will never forget your kindness. I swear, if I ever get the chance, I will repay you. I quickly withdraw the cash. When the heavy stack of 30,000 yuan lands in his hands, David finally breaks down. His hands shake. He tries to drop to his knees, but I catch him and pull him up. After exchanging contact info, he disappears into the crowd. Watching him go, I think of my Crimson Throne. It needs massive amounts of junk items to feed it, so it can keep producing source blood to strengthen me. I need someone to specifically buy up the junk items that everyone else looks down on. And the buyer cannot betray me, at least not in the short term. David will be useful from now on. I pull out my phone to check the time. 7:40 p.m., just over 4 hours until the gray rain. Time to start offering. But suddenly, a commotion erupts in the plaza ahead. What is happening to the moon? The bright, clear moon is being swallowed by a layer of crimson. In just a few seconds, the moon turns completely blood red. My heart jolts. Anyone who plays games knows what a blood moon means. Bad omens, curses, and catastrophe. What on earth is going on? Anxiety and dread spread through the crowd. Every face is bathed in an eerie crimson hue. I quickly pull up my phone and open the forum. It is flooded with speculation about the blood moon. We are doomed. I have a feeling something huge is going to happen tonight. Bold prediction. During the blood moon, the chance of pulling good items doubles. Gambler's charge. So what does the blood moon actually do? I look at an altar nearby. It looks like a rusted-out vending machine now growing eerie under the blood moon's influence. I activate the Eye of Truth. Altar number 20247. Connected coordinate the mechanical wasteland. A vending machine spirit wandering through the wasteland. It collects all kinds of currency. Blood moon effect. 10 offerings remaining. A gambler steps up and tosses his last coin into the altar. The coin vanishes instantly, and the remaining offering count drops by 1. But here is the strange part. The reward item gives off no light at all, and is wrapped in a layer of blood mist. No matter how close anyone stands, nobody can see what is inside. My pulse races. Under the blood moon, altars now have limited offering counts, and the offering process no longer reveals reward light. Only the offerer knows what they got. This is heaven sent for me. Even if I pull 3 red lights in the middle of the pedestrian street, everyone will just assume I got nothing good. I need to find altars fast. I quickly complete 2 offerings, but the results are disappointing. One only gives me a blue-grade longsword. It cuts steel like mud and is virtually indestructible, but I am the man who already owns a mythic-grade soul dagger. This longsword is just a snack for the Crimson Throne. The other altar gives me a purple-grade pauldron, the Beast Wrath Pauldrons. Once equipped, it grants an active skill that briefly unleashes berserker power, followed by a long period of weakness. Looks like converting it into source blood is its only fate. I wonder what epic-grade source blood tastes like. Finally, at a street corner, I spot another altar. The Eye of Truth activates. Altar number 1050. Connected coordinate the lost sea of stars. An ancient stargazer lost at the edge of the cosmos. The light he spent his entire life chasing has gone out. He longs to see the light of hope just one more time. Remaining offerings 7. Reading the request. My first thought is the match of hope. But today's matches have all been offered to the Crimson Throne, and ordinary matches and lighters lack the meaning of hope. I dig through all my pockets and only find the receipt printed at the ATM earlier. For David, this slip of paper is his daughter's chance to live, a chance at hope. It is also proof of a young man extending a hand to a stranger. Is this not the eternal light of human kindness itself? With a willingness to try, I place the slip of paper at the center of the altar. A deeply comforted sigh echoes in my ears. Then, an unremarkable 5-pointed star appears on the altar. The Eye of Truth activates. Star of Hope. Grade. Legendary. One-time consumable. Activates automatically the moment the holder dies. Restores the holder's flesh and soul, reviving them at full state. My eyes go wide. Holy crap. A revive token. This is a true last resort lifesaver. This is so far beyond what logic can measure. I store the Star of Hope in the dimensional space and pick up the pace heading back. On the way home, I scroll through the forum and notice something off. A popular altar near us just shattered after repeated offerings. The post includes a blurry photo. What was once a fully intact altar is now nothing but broken stones on the ground. The comment section explodes. Holy crap, altars can break? Someone here did the math. It looks like 10 offerings will destroy them. Out with the old, in with the new. Destroy them all. Maybe better ones will come. Two sides argue back and forth, and the government remains silent. Looks like the higher-ups have also been caught off guard by this sudden turn of events. This proves the blood moon is no joke. Whether the breaking of altars is a blessing or a curse remains unknown. I need to convert my new gear into real solid power. On the way back, I noticed several altars with no offerings made yet, still at 10 remaining. The outskirts really do have fewer people. The moment I get back to the slaughterhouse, I offer the blue-grade longsword to the Crimson Throne. After downing the uncommon source blood, I take out the epic-grade pauldron. The Crimson Throne actually trembles. A bottle of purple source blood appears. Source blood. Grade. Epic. Once absorbed, dramatically increases overall vitality. I tilt my head back and chug it down. Epic source blood is nothing short of a nuclear blast. Terrifying energy detonates inside my body, and my muscles surge and reform with terrifying intensity. So this is what an epic-grade source blood feels like. I feel like I could punch through the basement wall right now. I check my phone. 11:59 p.m. I open a live stream to see if anything changes after midnight. In the live stream, a man is standing in front of a food-themed altar made of various materials. I thought this food altar would drop me some crayfish or something, but ever since the blood moon arrived, the only difference is that the altar did not disappear. He pulls out his offering, ready to make the sacrifice. But the altar suddenly starts shaking violently. A massive, tentacled creature crawls out of it. A gaping, bloody maw fills the entire screen. Then the live stream cuts to black. Horrifying chewing sounds pour out from the audio. The live chat explodes. What just happened? A giant tentacle monster came out of the altar. Poor streamer never got his crayfish, he got eaten instead. Something is wrong, why is there a monster outside my building too? And there are more than one. Where are the authorities? Send help. Moments later, a blood-red alert flashes across every screen. Dragon Nation official emergency notice. During the blood moon, altars are mutating. All citizens do not go outside. Stay cautious. Powerful sacrificers may participate in the disaster response, provided your personal safety is ensured. After reading this, I finally understand. The blood moon is a key. Every altar that fails to receive 10 offerings before the next day gets its door unlocked by this key. But what comes out is not hope or gods. It is the calamity tied to the altar's coordinate. After feeling out the star of hope and the pocket watch of fate, my confidence skyrockets. And the dragon egg is close to hatching. These calamities are its food. I decide to go out and start hunting immediately. I step outside, ready to slaughter calamities. I quickly spot an altar nearby, with a woman in a blood-red cloak standing beside it. The Eye of Truth activates. The Witch, grade common. Just as I thought, the first blood moon's monsters are all low grade. I sneer and creep up behind her. The soul dagger flashes cold, and I successfully pierce her heart from behind. A piercing scream tears through the night. The witch dissolves into a pool of black blood. At the same moment, the altar beside her bursts apart. Among the rubble, a small glowing object appears. Altar fragment. Used to maintain the normal operation of altars. I have no idea what it does, so I just toss the fragment into the dimensional vault and pull out the dragon egg. The egg quickly drains every drop of the witch's blood. The hatching progress climbs from 54% to 55.8%. The lingering black mist also gets absorbed by the soul dagger right then. Its growth progress reaches 214. Way better than slaughtering chickens. This blood moon is basically a high-level XP grind. I am grinding all night. After searching a bit, I lock onto my second target. Giant trash beast, grade common. One punch ends the fight. I pick up another altar fragment. The more I kill, the more excited I get. For the weak, the blood moon is a disaster. But for me, the opposite. These calamities and shattered altars are once-in-a-lifetime resources. Suddenly, my brow lifts. Up ahead, a creature covered in bone spikes